228 payments, 19 years, without missing a single month. Everyone at this table believed one man had kept this roof over the family's head. And there he was, on his parents' golden anniversary, standing up to be thanked for it one more time.
To family. Because when this house was in trouble, somebody had to step up. You're welcome, Mom.
Laughter, applause, and at the far end of the table sat a quiet woman in a plain navy coat with a small white envelope in front of her. The one they called the poor one. The one they never quite invited, but never quite forgot to laugh at. Her name was Martha, and to understand what Martha was about to do, you have to go back 19 years. 19 years ago, her father's hardware store closed its doors for good. The bank sent a letter about the house, then another. Arthur, a proud man who had worked since he was 14, sat at his own kitchen table and could not speak. The worry nearly broke him. Martha had just lost her husband. The insurance money was sitting in her account, money she had planned to grow old on. She was still deciding what her life would be now. That night, watching her father stare at the table, she decided. Before this story goes on, tell us in the comments where in the world you're watching from. We love seeing how far these stories travel, and if you believe the quiet ones see everything, make sure you're subscribed. Her lawyer, Mr. Whitfield, was the only living soul who knew. Every month, from a private account, the bank would be paid. No name attached, no thanks expected.
They can never find out, David. My father's pride is already broken. I won't break it twice.
$1,150 a month, every month, for 19 years. Martha kept her plain coat, her small apartment, her bus pass, and paid for a house she was barely welcome in. Here is what the family saw instead. The bank went quiet, and Gary, who had promised in front of everyone that he would handle it, took the bow. Every month, Arthur pressed an envelope of his pension money into Gary's hand. "For the bank," he said. Gary always smiled.
I've got it covered, Pop. That's what sons are for.
The mortgage was always paid, so the envelopes must be working. Nobody ever checked, and the story the family told got simpler every year. Gary, the provider, Martha, the poor one. 19 years of small cuts had led to this dinner. They ordered for her at restaurants so she would not be embarrassed. They gave her their old coats. And now, in front of 40 people, Susan raised her glass one more time.
And Martha, sweetheart, everyone chipped in for tonight, even the grandchildren. We know things are tight for you, but maybe just this once?
Leave her be, Susie. She does what she can.
The table laughed politely, the way tables do. Martha did not argue. She stood, kissed her mother's cheek, laid her white envelope by the cake, and wished her parents a happy anniversary. Then she walked out into the cool evening. Inside, her mother sighed.
Don't mind her. She's always been like this.
Martha's kitchen was small enough to cross in 4 steps. On the table lay a worn folder. 19 years, 228 payments, kept in neat rows the way careful people keep things. She was not crying. She was counting.
David? It's Martha. I'm sorry to call so late. Stop the payments. All of them. It's time they stood on their own.
That was all. No shouting, no letter. She washed her 1 cup, turned off the lamp, and slept better than she had in years. If you have ever given quietly while someone louder took the bow, write, "Silence isn't weakness," in the comments. This story is for you. The first letter came in June. Gary got to it first and told himself it was a mistake. The second came in July. By the third, the word on the paper was one even Ellen could not unsee. Final. Her hands shook as she read it out loud to Arthur, twice.
How can we be behind? We give Gary the money every single month. Arthur, we give him the money.
Arthur took off his glasses and cleaned them slowly, the way he did when the world stopped making sense. Then he reached for his coat. The quiet bank office felt unnervingly cold that morning. The manager was kind, and the truth was not. Arthur and Ellen sat frozen in their chairs. The envelopes Arthur had pressed into his son's hand for 19 years had never once reached the bank. Every single cash envelope had been pocketed by the man standing behind them.
There has to be a mix-up. The mortgage got paid. It always got paid.
Gary stood pale and panicked, sweat beading on his forehead. The manager looked at Gary for a long, careful moment. She didn't blink as she reviewed the unyielding records on her screen. "Yes," she said. "It was always paid, from a private account through a law office. Not a single cent came from him." The false provider image was unraveling. 228 payments, month after month, year after year, quietly handled. They stopped in June. The finality of those words hung in the air, suffocating Gary's desperate, crumbling lies. Susan lingered in the doorway, lowering her phone. Ellen asked, in a voice gone very small, whose account it was. The manager didn't say a name out loud. Instead, she reached forward. The manager slid a card across the desk. Arthur reached out with trembling fingers to read the crisp white paper. The name of a lawyer. Whitfield. Mr. Whitfield had made a promise 19 years ago, and he kept it right up until Arthur, 80 years old, stood in his office holding a final notice with shaking hands. Then the promise was done. He opened a folder and turned it around. More than $250,000, month after month, year after year, from the account of a widow who rode the bus and wore a plain navy coat. Ellen read the name at the top of the page, and the dinner table, the jokes, the old coats, the toast, every one of them turned over at once, like stones showing their dark side.
Martha. It was Martha. Oh God, what have we been laughing at?
They came that evening, all of them. Susan stayed in the car. Ellen stood at the door of the small apartment she had never once visited and could not find the beginning of a sentence. Arthur simply held the folder to his chest, like something rescued from a fire.
19 years. Why didn't you say something? Why would you let us treat you like you were nothing?
Because Dad's pride was broken once already. I wasn't going to watch it break twice. I didn't do it to be thanked, Mom.
Martha looked past her mother down the stairs to where her brother stood in the dark. Her voice stayed level.
I stopped because of what the lie was turning Gary into, and because of what it let all of you believe about me. The bank can fix the house. The story you told about me, that one, you'll have to fix yourselves.
A week later, in the kitchen where it all began, Martha set the terms. Nobody argued. The payments would begin again, in her own name now, in the open, and Gary would repay every envelope he had ever taken, month by month, to his parents, even if it took him another 19 years.
The car's already gone back. I'll get honest work. Martha, I don't know how the lie got so big. It just never stopped being easy.
I know, easy is how it starts. You'll find that honest is how it ends.
Susan was gone by Christmas. She had married the story, not the man. Nobody at the house was surprised, least of all Gary. The next anniversary was a smaller dinner. No banners, no 40 guests. Gary came in a work shirt, with roughened hands and the first honest, tired face he had worn in years. And when the moment came for a toast, it was Arthur who stood and turned to the quiet woman at his right hand.
To my daughter, who paid in silence and never once made us feel small, even when we deserved it.
Martha had spent 19 years being the poor one at the table. It turned out she was the richest person in that family the entire time, just not in the way any of them could see. Now be honest with me. Was Martha right to stay silent for 19 years? Or did her silence let Gary become what he became? Could you have kept writing those checks? Tell me what you would have done in the comments. And if this story found you, share it with someone who gives quietly, and subscribe. There's a new story every week.